Hi, I'm Jessica Stortz.
And I'm Beth Arledge.
And we're
Homeschool Hoopla. We're here to offer you help and hope for your homeschool adventure. The Lord's mercies are new every morning. I'm so thankful that we get to face each new day with a renewed sense of wonder and eagerness to do the things that the Lord has called us to do. I'm Beth Arledge, and I'm here to talk to you just a little bit about morning time. If you're new to homeschooling, you may be wondering, what is morning time? Well, it's intended to be a time when your whole family gathers to do the things in your homeschool that are meant to be done together. For the purposes of this blog post and video, I'm going to share with you what my family does for morning time. But if you want more inspiration or encouragement, I would point you to a podcast called Your Morning Basket. I like to have a solid plan for morning time, and I spend some time during the summer putting this together. In the beautiful family homeschool planner, on the weekly pages, I've included a place where I can plot out what we will do in our morning time on a week-to-week basis. And you'll notice that I only have 4 lines. I have 3 items, activities that we do in our morning time that are non-negotiable. The 3 non-negotiable items that we include in our morning time every single day are reading aloud, memory work, and Bible study. And then the 4th line item I reserve for other things. In order to make my reading list, I need to look at what the content of what they'll be learning for the year. We're in classical conversations, so I know this year is cycle 3, and we'll be doing a lot of learning about U.S. history and U.S. geography. And so I start by turning to some resources for developing my reading list. And in the beautiful family homeschool planner, you have a reading list here where you can sort of schedule out or list out all of the books that you want to read. Some of the resources that I like to use for scheduling my read alouds are the Read Aloud Family book. This was written by Sarah Mackenzie. She also has an excellent podcast called Read Aloud Revival. In this book, she starts out by writing a defense for reading aloud to your children. She gives great ideas for engaging them in conversation, and the back half of the book is segmented by age of some of the best books to read aloud with your children. And then finally, as I mentioned, since we do classical conversations, we're going to be doing U.S. history this year in cycle 3. In the Essentials program, we use IEW for our writing component, and that is also U.S. history themed writing lessons. And IEW supplies a literature suggestion list that is excellent and goes right along with that theme. The second non-negotiable element of our morning time is memory work. I think rote memorization is an undervalued skill that students should use in their learning, especially at the younger ages. Their brains are like sponges. They're taking all this information in that's around them, whether it's the lyrics to the latest Disney movie or all the characters of the Pokemon series. Why not give them good content? Why not fill their brains with truth, goodness, and beauty, and all kinds of information about history and geography and math? Consider this. When you teach a child multiplication, how much easier would it be if they had already memorized all of the skip counting numbers? When you go visit a museum with your child, how much more engaging would it be if they've memorized interesting facts about history and science? That's the power of doing memory work every day. Of course, our family's in classical conversations, and so our resource for memory work comes straight out of the Foundation's curriculum. The third non-negotiable item that we use in our morning time is Bible study or devotional. This one is easy to go over the top with. There are so many good resources. There are so many good programs to be involved in. But I think the key is really limiting it to 1 or 2. Our children are involved in our church's youth ministry called Word of Life. And beyond that, we like to do a family devotional each year. There are some great ones out there, and I will share with you some of our family's favorites, but I also want to note that we did not do all of this in the same year. The first resource I would share is called Indescribable by Louis Giglio. If your children love science, they will love this devotional because each devotional is very simple, it's kind of engaging and colorful to look at, but it's a science topic and he points out how all science, all creation points to the glory of God. And my children have loved learning about God's creation through this devotional. Another resource that I would show you is theology. If you want to talk about sort of catechism questions or different topics of theology with your children, this is an excellent book to read through with them. It's called Theology. It's by Marty Machowski. And then finally, if your goal for the year is to develop virtue and character in your children, I highly recommend that you check out Our 24 Family Ways by Clay Clarkson. This resource is broken up into 24 weeks, where each week they memorize a family way, and then it also includes 5 days worth of devotional content, where they ask a question, read the Bible, talk about it, and then speak to God. There's 5 days listed here, and this whole week goes with just one family way. So you have 24 weeks of content and Bible studies in that book as well. As I mentioned before, I have 4 lines reserved for our morning time activities. 3 of them are non-negotiable. We always read aloud, we always practice memory work, we always do Bible study or devotional. And then the 4th line is reserved for other things that we want to pepper into our morning time. That could include going on a nature walk together. It could include doing a drawing project, and some resources that I like for drawing are Usborne books or Ed Emberley books, or just going to a website called artforkidshub.com, where this dad works right alongside his kids, and he does these video tutorials on how to draw just about anything you can think of. It could include poetry reading or memorization. It could include podcast listening or watching, or it could be a simple science experiment. Some resources again for science I would turn to would be Usborne books, or the Van Cleves, Janice Van Cleves' 201 Awesome Magical Bizarre Science Experiments. I love starting every day with morning time. I sketch everything out the summer before in my beautiful family homeschool planner so that I have a good big picture vision for our year ahead and the things that we would include. I've given good thought to the books that we'll read and the Bible study that we'll do, and I've sketched it all out into a planner. And then each morning we wake up, we know what we're going to do together. It's an enriching time that we spend together, deepening our relationships, connecting through books and scripture and prayer. And it sets us on a trajectory for a successful day. I hope this has been an encouragement to you.
Thanks for taking the time to watch our video.
We'd love to hear from you, so please leave a comment or send us an email at homeschoolhoopla@gmail.com.
And don't forget to subscribe over here.
And watch our latest video down here. Again, I'm Beth Arledge.
And I'm Jessica Stortz, and we're
Homeschool Hoopla,
offering you help and hope for your homeschool adventure.